This is the Coin Show Podcast. The show about coins and coin collecting. And not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast, going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman on the Coin Show Podcast.
It's episode 163 of the Coin Show Podcast. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
On this episode of the Coin Show Podcast, we're going to start a brand new segment. We're going to launch a brand new segment tonight. Just wait and see. And the usual foolishness, as well as the coolest thing that walked into both Matt's and my shop this week. But first, as always, the news. Let's see. Who is the news brought to us by?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I jumped ahead. Look at me. Who is the news brought to us by? You said I was going to like it, so.
I did. The news is brought to you this week by Ambivalence. We don't care.
I like that one.
Told you you'd like it.
That's a good one.
Thank you. All right. The Basketball Hall of Fame commemoratives have been released upon the American people, whether they want them or not.
Yeah, they kind of flopped, didn't they? Well, at least the promotions.
Collective yacht. That's absolutely correct.
The promotions kind of flopped, but the coins themselves look pretty decent.
Well, I mean, the coins are what they are. They're made well. I mean, they're cool. They're curved coins, and they're done that thing.
Yeah.
You did the curved coin with the baseball coin, so there's the sports theme done. You did the curved coin with a 999 silver. Did that for Apollo 11.
Yeah.
What you got for me? So first day sales have totaled over 80,000 coins, but none of the specifics issues seem to have any particular following. It looked to be more like subscription buying, if you ask me.
Right. I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, the big seller was the Proof Silver Dollar at just over 32,000 coins. Believe it or not, the next biggest seller, the Proof Clad Half Dollar.
Wow. Terrible. I mean, good for them.
Well, so that's not a good sign. So yeah, it looks to me to be mostly to have been subscription sales. Because they're pretty evenly spread for about 5,000 to 7,000 across all the different issues. 32,000 Proof Silver Dollars, and the Proof Clad Half Dollar.
Yeah, I would say that it's probably not going to sell out, but who knows?
I highly doubt this one's going to sell out.
Right.
But here's something that I have been noticing. This issue comes with a kid set. Now, the Apollo 11 commems had a kid set as well.
Yeah.
And it had a special finish Kennedy half, right?
Yes.
This set doesn't include a special finish circulation strike coin. This one has a special finish commemorative half. So the kids set is limited to 75,000 coins, and this one is going to have an enhanced finished half. So it's the only place it's available. Sales of the kids set are 75,000 coins. I think this coin is going to be a sleeper.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if that's the only way to get it, then okay.
It's the only way to get it, and it's going to pass under the radar without people knowing. Really?
Hey, is that a customer at least?
That is a customer.
Okay, then first of all, tell them that we're doing something. Second of all, good on you for working at 8 o'clock at night your time. You're a workaholic, man.
Well, whatever. Only second to you, bud. All right, so let's see. Coin Collector's Blog. Coin Collector's Blog posted an op-ed on May 22nd about the undetermined status of the World's Fair of Money in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I think this is pretty representative of the minds of collectors and A&A members at this moment, but I would like to take a step back and just reflect for a minute. Now, granted the updates have been slow and information's trickling, but this situation on these shows is still completely fluid.
Yeah.
And I think that this is really something that people can use. This is good information. As far as the convention goes, I think it's important for people to understand how these things get canceled, because that's what to watch in this situation. It's all about the money. So if the state tells the convention center that it's not safe to have the convention, it'll be canceled, period.
Yeah, for sure.
Insurance will refund all the principal's money and everybody walks away a little disappointed but whole. If the convention center decides that it can't carry the liability of the convention, they can cancel. And again, insurance makes sure everybody gets their money back.
Right.
The problem is this: those are the only two stakeholders that insure the convention. Anybody else deciding to postpone or cancel the fair will create financial repercussions for many people involved, and nobody's willing to do that. And because of that, the updates are slow, but only because the cities and states are in such a wait-and-see position. This is not a failure on the part of the ANA, but a circumstance brought on by the incredible times that we live in.
Well, I do know that there is some discussion at the NA about actually canceling the show from the ANA standpoint. So
I think, though, that's more of a contingency, isn't it? They're kind of figuring out, okay, well, here's what happens when we do it. Because I think it's kind of clear at this point that there's very little chance that it's going to happen.
Right. I think that the overwhelming feeling is that it's going to be canceled. It's just a matter of by who.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're absolutely not going to do it until somebody who insures is going to call it off.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
But I honestly think that way everybody walks away from it with what they started with. And, I mean, you don't get the show, but you also don't lose all the investment that you put into it.
Right.
Now, something the ANA does have control over and has canceled is the ANA Summer Seminar, but fear not. In what I believe is a situation where you not only have made lemonade from the lemons life has given you, you discovered that your lemonade cures the common cold. Because during the weeks that would have been the ANA Summer Seminar, the ANA is going to offer free virtual courses through their e-learning academy.
Well, that's okay. I mean, that's a good thing. E-learning is always good. I know this is something new, but
but here it's free. That's the best part. So both 1 and 2 hour classes are going to be offered in subjects from grading 101 to detection of altered coins, Mexican voices in metal and paper, to Italian numismatics insights through modern history. So there's foreign subjects, there's U.S. subjects, it's all that stuff. If you've ever wanted to take an ANA Summer Seminar class but couldn't, for budget, time, or travel reasons, here's a golden opportunity for you to enjoy ANA classes absolutely free of charge.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because if you're kind of on the fence about going, it'll give you kind of a hands-off idea of what you can expect to learn out there. Obviously these kind of things, having a hands-on, being able to grab coins and look at them is definitely better. But this will give you an idea of what to expect if you do happen to decide to go. So
sure, and the mission of the ANA is as an educational organization. So
sure.
The fact that they put this out there for more people like me. Literally the 6 classes that I signed up for just made me honestly think about going from a regular membership to a lifetime membership.
Right. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Think about that. I think that it's really good for them. So bravo ANA. Let's see. Facebook users may have stumbled across a scam this past week selling silver American Eagles at $9.99 each, limit 10.
Yeah, I saw this go by a few times. For
this one.
Yeah, it's been interesting. There's a lot of this kind of stuff being advertised on Facebook right now, and it's been really bad.
It is. So these websites have been popping up for a few days and then disappearing, only to resurface under a different name. It makes it really difficult to trace. The scammers are obviously foreign, as the article mentions, alerting the Border Patrol. But I actually saw this ad, and from the images, I figured out that it was a scam. And then I alerted the people that I know. It's a fairly deceptive ad, but if you know what to look for, the evidence was there for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So always. It's like, first off, nobody is selling Silver Eagles at $9.99. It's under spot. It's never going to happen.
And it's actually funny. We had a guy the other day just come in the office with about 20 or 30 of these. And he wouldn't tell me where he got them, but I told him where he got them. So it was, it was one of those things.
Were you the one that clipped one of them open?
No, I did not cut one open, but
okay, I saw that. Somebody
they
weighed one of them.
They weighed 0.86 of a troy ounce, so that was kind of all I needed to.
That's kind of a
know.
problem.
Yeah, that was all I needed to know.
Yeah. In real U.S. coin news, the week ending May 31st saw the two biggest selling items at the U.S. Mint to be silver proof sets and proof sets. How do you like them apples? Yeah. In fact, the top two items that week were the 2020 sets, numbers 3 and 5 on the list.
Yeah, well, I mean,
or the 2019 American Innovation dollar proof set and the 2019 silver proof set. Yeah. So there's 4 out of your top 5 sellers were all proof sets.
But look at number 4. What does that tell you?
Pardon me?
Look at number 4.
I got to look at the article.
2018 S Proof American Innovation Dollar.
Oh, there you go.
They're selling coins from 2 years ago. Was their 4th highest seller of this week. Hey.
Well, so this could be due to the fact that the Mint has not released very many products thus far this year. It could also be that the W Mint coins are driving sales. I'll tell you that I seriously just noticed that the American Innovation proof dollars aren't included in the annual proof sets.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't notice. It's one of those convenient, they're not there.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so it's either a strange pricing strategy, seemingly keeping the generic proof set, cost down, sort of, and overpricing the 4 proof dollar coins, because the 4 coin proof set's like $15.
Yeah. Huh.
So yeah, they managed to keep the price of the proof set up around, what was it, $24, something like that. And now they still have a 15, yeah. So.
Huh. Interesting.
The Weir Farm quarters have now been released, so you can stop with all the bad jokes.
Finally.
Yeah. Weir Farm in what state, Matt?
I'm looking at the picture. I'm cheating. It's in Connecticut.
Okay, it's Connecticut. Is a national park for art. This quarter appears to be wildly popular as demand for the new coins has reached almost 2 million coins sold through the Mint directly in rolls and bags.
Is Weir Farm where the zombies pop out of the ground for the next part of 2020?
No, okay. Not yet. In a bizarre sort of release, NGC has released special inserts for 2020 Silver American Eagle struck in Philadelphia. So you might have to help me figure this one out, Matt. Let me explain it, but you might have to help me figure this one out. You have Silver Eagles that were struck in Philadelphia during the pandemic due to West Point being closed. They can only be identified by looking up the lot numbers on the straps that seal the monster box. They're referring to them as emergency production, which is a stretch to say the least. And here's the kicker: is the inserts are hand signed by former House Speaker John Boehner, who has absolutely no connection to Philadelphia or West Point, or any facet of their production.
Huh. Well, you know the old adage of why does the dog lick itself, right? Because it can. And that's why they're doing this. Because they can.
Wow. And people are going to buy it.
Yeah, it's just marketing.
Of course, it's in the registry now.
All these slabs are just marketing. They're nothing more than just marketing.
Well, absolutely. But it's like you could try and hide that a little bit.
No, they don't care.
It's like out in the open, just money grab.
Welcome to Numismatics, Mike. Where have you been?
Oh, boy, are my eyes going to get opened.
Yes, sir.
All right, so PCGS has announced winners of Coin Quest 2020. You said that 10 times fast.
No, I won't even say it 1 time fast. Thanks.
This was an interesting contest and another great idea from PCGS to create more submissions. So the quest challenged collectors to assemble a set of 2020 cents, nickels, and dimes from both Philadelphia and Denver and submit them for grading and inclusion in the PCGS registry. 2 winners were chosen, one $2,000 prize from a random drawing of collectors who had completed the set before the deadline, and one $2,500 prize for the top ranked set that was submitted.
Remember that money grab thing you were talking about?
Yeah, this kind of what led right into this. So yeah, the slabs feature the early find label, which actually I think is much more accurate than First Strike or early releases.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Heritage Auctions has moved its worldwide headquarters. The new facility will combine the current 3 locations that Heritage currently occupies, or that Heritage occupies in Dallas. The new location is adjacent to the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport and is located in its foreign trade zone. So apparently that will make things easier for them to do foreign business. Coin Week published an article this week. Or no, this wasn't Coin Week. This was Numismatic News. So the new Heritage Auctions facility is going to be just one huge place that has everything of heritage in it.
Yeah, that's cool. 160,000 square feet. That's huge.
Yep. Right off the airport. So you fly in, you fly out, and it's easy to get stuff in and out of there.
Yeah, mighty convenient. Good for them.
Yeah. Well done. Well planned. Well done. Coin Week published an article this week calling the U.S. 50-state quarter program the most important coin program of our lifetime. Discuss.
I mean, as far as bringing people into the hobby, yeah, I guess I can agree with that. You didn't expect me to agree, did you?
That's it? That's all you can give it?
You didn't expect me to agree, did you?
Well, I mean, no, I think that you have more common sense than that because, look, there are certain things that the 50-state quarter program brought to the table. It brought an influx of design. It brought an influx of seigniorage, right?
Sure.
So the Mint found that out, and they were like, oh, wait a minute, that's a really good idea. The people that have been wanting to collect stuff for a long time have now latched on to the fact that, you can have all these circulating commemorative coins, and it works, and, people, will use them, and they recognize them, and it's cool. And because of that, a lot of new artists have gotten involved. Now that we have, the digital sculpting, you have, people that normally were not the traditional sculptors are able to compete with their designs. So yeah, I think that this thing has brought just a huge boom to the hobby. But that's me.
Yeah, I agree. Sure.
It's like, are any of the coins valuable? Will they ever be valuable in this Absolutely not.
Now, more interesting question is, what do you think is the second most important coin program of our lifetime?
Second most important coin program of our lifetime is probably the America the Beautiful quarter program.
Silver Eagles.
Okay. No, well, the Bullion the Bullion program.
It just says coin program, so that could be anything.
Yeah. So the Bullion coin program, I'll give you that. Absolutely, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I would think that's probably the second most.
Well, yeah, because if not the most, because it completely also changed the hobby.
Yeah.
It scratched an itch that had been going for a long time, right? People wanted bullion. They weren't able to own it before the 70s. So now that they were finally able to own it, they started looking and saying, okay, yeah, I do want to buy it. And the U.S. government was right there to capitalize on that and say, you know what, we'll supply it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
People started collecting them. People like me, date, started collecting them. Once we started collecting them by date, now they started, yes, they made the proofs and stuff like that, but I don't think any of the reverse proof, the enhanced uncirculated, any of this other stuff would have happened without people literally collecting Silver Eagles by Dayton and Mark.
Sure. Yep.
By Dayton and Mark, yeah.
I agree.
So, all right. New numismatic legislation has been created for a coin that will honor healthcare professionals, first responders, scientists, researchers, all essential workers, and individuals who provided care and services during the coronavirus pandemic.
Huh. Hadn't heard this one.
70% of the population of the United States.
Right.
As early as this seems, due to the amount of work Congress has in front of it, when it finally does reconvene, the passing of commemorative coinage legislation is likely not going to be high on the docket, if at all. And that means that there may be fewer offerings next year. Now, the question is, do we need a Corona commem?
Because that's exactly what I was thinking in my head. Do we really need to commemorate this year? Can't we wait, 10 years and let us cool down?
Look, the thought is that we really want to say thank you to all the people that have literally put their lives on the line in between us and this virus.
I can buy that. I can handle that.
Right. It's like everybody from your mailman, letter carrier, excuse me, to,
Did you just get politically correct? Is that what happened? Did I just hear that happen?
He's a mail toter.
Okay, just making sure I heard right. That's all.
But, my thing on it is I know that we need to thank all these people, right? And they literally put their lives on the line for the rest of us, but it's so broad a brush. How do you paint it?
Yeah, really, that's exactly right. How do you thank
without glorifying the virus? Because that's
fully 1/3 of the population of the United States. How do you thank all those people?
Yeah. So
maybe you should put them on quarters.
There you go. Yeah, have your postman on this one, and have your doctor on this one, and have your nurse practitioner on this one.
There you go. See, now we're on to something.
Sure.
U.S. Mint, that is Mike at coinshowradio.com for any comments, questions about our program.
Pull up my email box. Go ahead.
I don't check mine.
And finally, in the news, we have talked about the design change for the reverse of the silver American Eagle next year, but have we really not even discussed the gold coin?
No, I know it's coming too.
Well, the primary focus of the redesign is going to be any counterfeiting measures, but the basic design change is what we really want to know about. We've speculated on the change for the silver coin, but it's like, we haven't even really talked about the fact they're going to change the reverse of the gold one as well.
Yeah.
What would you like to see?
Oh, I don't know. I never really, sit here and think about coin designs and what I want to see on them. The front of the Silver Eagle is very nice, has the St. Gaudens Liberty design. Stick with the classic, stick with something neat, something interesting that has a classic feel to it, and I'll be happy.
Well, wouldn't it be great to go back to that Flying Eagle, the St. Gaudens reverse design, the original one with the sun and the eagle? And
sure, yeah, I'd like that.
To have that on our gold eagles again? I
would be very happy with that.
I would. Okay, so here's what you do. And this is Mike pontificating again, but you put that on the 1 ounce coin, and then use a different reverse for the fractionals.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. It'll drive sales of the 1 ounce coin, which you really don't need to do anyway, but it'll make the fractional special and different. And none of this commemorative crap like with the platinum ones.
Yeah.
This liberty and the pursuit of happiness. So that was the news. And the news was brought to us tonight by Ambivalence. We don't care. Ambivalence.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman.
Bringing it back, baby. Bringing it back.
Yeah, so we promised a brand new segment tonight, and we will not disappoint. Matt had just an amazing idea this week, and tell us what you got.
It was a good one. Was it on the Patreon show that we were just kind of BSing and it came up, I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we
were just kind of.
So for those of you guys that aren't patrons, we do 2 extra shows a month. And one of the show that we do for the patrons, we call it Not the Coin Show Podcast. Because while there is a little bit of talk about coins, there's also talk about just whatever the heck we feel like talking about. So
This one is very structured, and it's you know what you're going to get. This is
Right.
your TV dinner. It's got the news. It's got the typical silliness. It's got us doing the coolest thing, and now it's got this segment, which I think is going to be a repeating segment because I really like it. So that's all structured. Not the Coin Show podcast. None of that.
There's no structure whatsoever. It's basically Matt and Mike BSing for 45 minutes. It's fun. I enjoy it.
So here's the thing: if you want to listen to us every single week, be a patron.
But anyways, during the show, I was just sitting here thinking. It kind of popped into my head that Mike does his coolest thing, and I do my coolest thing. But we never really take a look at everybody else's, all the listeners' coolest things. So on the Facebook page and the Friends of the Coin Show group, a few days ago, I made a post about, hey, we have this new segment we want to do. Show us your coolest thing. And then all of a sudden, the replies just started flying in. So we're going to call this segment, what did we decide on, Mike? Do you remember?
My coolest thing.
My coolest thing. We got to get some audio made for that, I think. But
yeah, we'll get a big voice guy to do it or something.
There you go. So let's do it. Let's jump right into this, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop up this thread, and we're going to take a look at it together, and we're going to take a look at everybody's coins, and it's going to be fun. We're going to see what everybody else has right now. So let's just start here with Barry Richardson. He says, this is what was laying on my desk, and it looks like it's a 70D Kennedy $50. Nice uncirculated coin. Fun coin.
Honestly, I had one of the same things sitting on my desk.
Well, you know why it's funny? Because that's a coin that you can only get in a mint set, right? Mr. Modern Man? Yeah, so that's why that coin's interesting. And I actually asked everybody, to give us a little blurb about their particular piece and why they picked it. Corey here says, this is his William Henry Harrison Hard Times token. William Henry Harrison was pivotal in my area, serving in Northwest Indian War. At the deciding Battle of Fallen Timbers in 1794 in Maumee, Ohio. Construction of Fort Meigs in Pennsylvania, which served as a stronghold on the Maumee River during the War of 1812. And after running on the platform of Tippecanoe and Tyler II, he won the presidency just to die a month into it. So for this reason, this is the favorite coin that he owns. And I'm actually familiar with that coin because Corey bought that coin for me. So really neat coin. I like that one.
Well, it's funny because that was from the Great Northwest.
You're breaking up a little bit there, buddy. What was it from?
Sorry. I said that that was from when the Great Northwest was Michigan,
Ohio, Indiana, Illinois.
We were the Great Northwest.
Cody here posted a coin. Bicentennial die adjustment strike found roll hunting in 2017. And it is in a PCGS MS62 holder. Well, that picture's probably too big, but that's all right. That's a cool coin.
I'll tell you what, I had never seen one of these before. If I saw the coin, I would not have known what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's weakly struck. Die adjustment strikes are funny little things because basically they were just trying to make sure that the dies were lined up before they turned the pressure all the way up in the presses to start punching out coins at full speed. So this was probably just after a die change or a die cleaning, and they were making sure that the dies were lined up straight. So
how common is it to find these though?
I've owned a couple over the years, but to find one, I've never found one.
Okay, so I mean they're out there, but they're not real common.
Right. Jeff says, really getting into toned Washingtons. Nice, pretty 53 toned Washington quarter there.
Yep, all kinds of toning on that one.
Yeah. Sean says, I just picked up this 1931 Balboa. 1931 one Balboa last December in Austin, Texas, at a small coin show held twice a year. He collects the old coins because he likes to design and artwork, and because modern U.S. coins are pretty bland, thank you, and I like to check out what other countries have done. This coin is 90% silver and was struck in Philadelphia for Panama on the same planchets used for peace dollars.
Where's my Van Halen drop when I need it? Panama.
I love that. I actually really like that design.
Well, the Balboa's got a really nice design on it. It's a beautiful coin. I wouldn't quite make the disparaging remarks about the U.S. coins.
Jack Young, who I know very well, says he bought this one because it was holdered at a major third-party grader and proven to be totally counterfeit.
Yes.
I've seen this coin in hand, and it's really scary. It's a 72S half dollar. The S is completely the wrong shape and in the wrong position to be any die pair known, and the grading company just missed it, and it was in an AU53 holder. So neat coin. I've seen that coin. Very cool.
So rather than collecting on the guarantee, he'd just rather have it.
Jack has a whole dark cabinet of really scary counterfeits.
Okay. That sounds like a cool collection.
It really is. I've seen a few examples in hand from his collection, and it's pretty scary. Jero says, Colombian 50 Centavos was the first series he started with his father. When I found about this 2-year series, I had to have one, and he was super excited to get that one. So that's really cool. That's a cool story because he started something that brings back memories of him collecting with his father. Very cool.
Those are the best kind.
Let's see here. Michael, second 70D half of the night. Searching through many 1970 mint sets, he finally gave in and bought an MS66 example. So this is a neat PCGS example. Nice white coin, looks like.
Yeah. They're harder to find really nice. You'll find a lot of 63s, a lot of baggy ones, but and they never spec on the bags, which is the worst part.
Mark has a 1/12 stater from Militis Ionia from 500 BC. They're tiny little things. I actually have one around here somewhere. They're smaller than about the size of your pinky fingernail, if you have average size normal hands. They're very... Whoa! Where'd we go?
What?
Oh, I having trouble here. I'm losing things.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. I got it back. We're back.
Good.
We're back. All right. Where was I? Let's see. But anyways, that coin's really cool. It's got a lion on one side, and it's got a little starburst design on the other side. They're really, really tiny little things. Very, very cool coin. William Bischoff. Here is a two-faced toner given the name to how these coins toned in proof set packaging in the early 60s. They toned in a manner resembling the popular Batman villain Two-Face. I've never even heard him called that before, but you know what? Looking at the coin, I guess I kind of understand that one. It's definitely mint red on one side and kind of like a silvery blue color on the other side. Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen that either.
And William, going for number 2, shows us a really pretty blue penny that he thought was going to go AT, but actually straight graded at PCGS. Didn't tell us a grade, but interesting. And then, here's Jack again showing off a counterfeit Gobrek dollar in an NX Proof 20 holder. I'm very familiar with this particular counterfeit. As Jack, I spent hours and hours and hours trying to help Jack look for him through major auctions. I think we ended up finding 8 or 10 examples of these particular coins. Some of them were certified, some of them were raw, but they're all counterfeit. Scary coins.
That is absolutely amazing.
Here's a video from Russell. It says, the coolest thing that has come to me into submission, for submission to NGC with this week is a 1 pound coin with no middle. Huh, interesting. Let's watch the video here. It actually looks like it's in mint packaging, which is kind of cool. From the Royal Mint. Yeah, looks like it was just made without a little centerpiece, which is kind of interesting if you're tired of seeing the queen on the front of every coin, because she ain't on that one.
She's not amused.
Let's see. And I guess that's it for that particular post. So, yeah, fun way to show you guys something cool, something new.
I mean, here, look. We get really interesting stuff that comes across our desks every single day, right?
Right, 100%.
Some of this stuff and you go, right? But at the end of the day, we don't own them. We don't get to keep them. We just get to play with them for a little while. Well, I'm pretty sure that our listeners have some really, really nice stuff out there, and they actually own the stuff. So hey, let's see some of it. It's like Matt taught me a long time ago. It's all got to be out there somewhere.
Right. So yeah, but the thing is, if you guys like that segment, tell us, let us know, comment on the streams, on the videos. If you guys want to see that segment again, we would love to do it. That was fun. I'd love to see what you guys have. We love it. We love new and interesting things because this is really, I mean, the show's called The Coin Show. We want to see coins. So, what better way than to, check out your guys' coins. So,
absolutely. I love it when our listeners share that stuff with us.
All right, buddy. Now it's your turn and my turn. So I think I have a new bump for this. Let's find out.
And now for the coolest thing to walk in this week. A competition segment between Matt and Mike to see who's had the coolest thing walk into their shops. Who'll win this episode? Let's find out. Matt? Mike? Who's got the coolest thing?
Well, do you want to do like a rock, paper, scissors, see who goes first tonight? What do you want to do?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, ready? Rock.
Ready?
Oh, wait, this is going to be difficult. I can already tell.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Okay.
Right?
Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ah, where are you? I can't see you.
I'm back first.
All right, you're going first.
Okay, so I get to go first. Hold on a second. I got to find this. Find the picture I sent you. Like being prepared, right? Okay, so this came across my desk. It was something that I actually had seen maybe only one or two of in the past. It is nice. It's a beautiful coin, and it is almost impossible to pronounce. But it is called a Feuchtwanger cent. It is a pattern coin that was made by a private minter named Feuchtwanger. And what he did was he was trying to come up with a cent composition that was better than pure copper.
Okay.
So silver-ish composition. And it was called Feuchtwanger's composition. And if you look at the reverse of it, it says Feuchtwanger's composition 1 cent. And this particular coin grades XF, I'd say 45.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I graded it, and look, I'm still learning in this business, particularly from the standpoint of how to grade, right? Because you've got to look at a ton of coins in order to be able to do it. But I was really proud of the fact that I haven't seen a whole lot of these. I looked at it, I'm like, XF 45. So I take it over to my boss. I'm like, here, Bob, I grade this at 45, and he looks at me and goes, I'm not offended.
Well, these are very similar to grading Civil War tokens because they were not struck real well to begin with. So
yeah, and you got to figure out what's strike and what's wear.
Right.
In this particular case, there's not a whole lot of wear on the coin at all, but the luster is kind of impaired, and that's where we're at.
Cool. I love these things. I've had a few of them over the years too.
We're going to sell it to the highest bidder.
Oh, is it going on one of the auction sites, or are you guys going to put it up on the Facebook Virtual Coin Show? What are you going to do with it?
I don't know yet. What I want to do is I want to really kind of pinpoint the price, because as I've been trying to research it, they're kind of all over the place. You'll see these for $50 and $60, but those are usually fines.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see them for like $160, and those are usually MS. Well, the XF's got to fall in there somewhere, but figuring out where that falls is sometimes not the easiest thing in the world. So
that looks like a $100 bill to me, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's probably about right. You grade things like Tom DeLory does.
I mean, it's just, you look at a lot of coins, you got to be quick. You got to snap through them. So
here's the thing. I will tell you that I don't dawdle when I grade. And one of the things that one of the guys that works in the shop with me has said, man, you're really quick at looking at them. And it's like, I don't have a half an hour to spend grading each coin. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to look at it. You got to get an opinion of it. If you look at it too long, you're going to be wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say probably 80% of the time your first gut opinion is usually correct. when it comes to coins.
And the rest is paralysis through analysis.
Wow, I've never heard that before. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's I want to say it's a football term.
Yeah.
Yeah, paralysis through analysis. So that's what I got. What you got for me?
Well, I have a piece of paper money. So let's take a look at it. We bought a 1900 series $10,000 gold certificate. Cool thing about this particular note, and I actually included a picture of it here, was this note has a really interesting story as to why a $10,000 note is not worth anywhere near $10,000. These particular notes were used mostly by the Federal Reserve and banks, basically to transfer funds back and forth. And after they were used and after they were redeemed, they kind of hung on to quite a few of them. And they kept them in a building in Washington, D.C., actually in an old post office in Washington, D.C. And in 1935, this post office had a fire. And in this particular post office, the building was made of granite, but the insides of the building were full of, were wood and full of lots of papers and records. And so trying to save the building and do the best they could, people that were in the building just started throwing everything they could find out the windows. So boxes of these notes went flying out the windows of a burning building, crashing into the street, splitting open, and blowing around everywhere. So people, there to watch did what any normal human being would do and grabbed handfuls of these and stuck them in their pockets and ran home. So for that particular reason, these notes were actually demonetized. They're not worth anything, face value.
Yeah, and they're really, first off, think about this. And it's 1900. $1,900, $10,000 is like what, $2-3 million now?
Yeah. Like I said, these were used basically just for transfers. This particular one actually is dated 1917, but is a series of 1900.
Okay. So my point being that, it's a lot of money. So after they were canceled, they would be something that'd be kind of nice to have as a souvenir. They'd be kind of cool to have. So I see, keeping the canceled and perforated notes. And for that reason, I would think the perforated ones like these are even more desirable than the unperforated ones.
Well, yeah, the unperforated ones. And the thing was, in all the boxes that went flying out the windows, they were canceled. All of the notes were canceled, but they didn't necessarily perforate them all as being canceled. So, people were trying to pass these off.
They're trying to pass them. I know somebody who owns one.
Yeah, me.
I know somebody who owns one besides you.
I know, I'm just kidding. But it's one of those things where people were, these things were blown down the street, so people were scooping them up and trying to do all sorts of nefarious things with them. So they actually did demonetize them. This particular note's a VF note. It is canceled. It does have a little bit of staining. It's not unusual to see some staining, some water damage on these notes. I've actually seen some burnt ones. There are some burned examples out there that came, just from this fire that happened in 1935. So, interesting piece. Had it come in the store. It's always fun to have something neat like this laying around. People like to ooh and ah over it. So,
now, although mine is really, really cool, I'll give you this one.
You're just conceding? People don't get to even vote?
Oh, they can vote all they want.
Justin said I cheated because I'm using currency. So
this might be cooler. But what I like about this, there's two things that really, really kind of jump out at me about this bill. One is that it's uniface.
Yes.
Right. It's only printed on one side, that's something we're not used to. But the other is all the really, really high quality engraving work that's done on it. That is, if you look at it, gold certificate, $10,000 at the very top, really, really small scroll work. It is hereby certified that the engraved and printed at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, U.S. Treasury Department, $10,000 has been deposited. That kind of stuff. So it's neat to look down the left side where it has United States and it has it looks like a single X, but that wouldn't be right because that's not 20. But I'd have to blow it up a lot lot bigger to see it.
Making the picture a little bit bigger here. It's actually Tahi Burke signatures from the government on the note, which are note signatures that were on a lot of other notes. So it's just a really cool piece. I was happy to get it. Like I said, it'll go up on the internet. It'll go somewhere, and then it'll go away, and we'll be on to something else. So.
Oh, the X is about $10,000. That's why.
Oh yeah, X thousand, sure.
And again, here we have our friend Mr. Jackson.
Yeah.
Who absolutely abhorred paper money on a $10,000 bill. I just think it's a really almost delicious irony that Andrew Jackson, became president. He hated the Bank of the United States. He hated paper money. He hated all that stuff. So he basically did everything he could. He vetoed the bill that would charter the second, Bank of the United States, which wiped him out. And there's no paper money. And he wanted everything done in gold and silver. So it's like, that all dried up because there was now no paper money. So there's no paper, there's no gold, there's no silver, there's no coinage. It's like there's no money anyplace. So what do? Let's put him on the most circulating bill of all time, the $20 bill.
I think he's been on more notes than any other president. I would actually be interested to see how many different notes he's been on. I might have to look that up.
He's got to be. I think that he may be number 2 to Washington because Washington's been on everything.
It's possible. It's good. It'd be close. I think. Yeah. But I'm going to look that up. That's interesting.
I think that's a Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig thing. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
That's your murderers row. You got George Washington. You got Abe Lincoln. You got Andrew Jackson.
That's pretty much it on the paper money.
Well, yeah, because the rest of the people have been on there, but not to the same extent.
Right.
Those three are like Andy.
Well, did we just wrap up 163? Holy macaroni!
I don't know. Did we?
I think we did.
Do we have any listener questions at all?
I don't know. I haven't even asked for them yet, so doesn't look like it.
Let me see really quick. Take a look at
questions at coinshowradio.com. Yeah, if you guys, any of you guys are watching the live stream, you have a question, feel free to ask it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go, questions.
We'll let Mike get in the email here, and I'll let you guys think about what you want to ask. If you have any questions, we'd love to answer them.
And I'll tell you what, I also want to welcome the people that are watching the live stream for the first time tonight, both of them on Roundtable Television.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Live streams. So, yeah, we actually have some comments. So,
are they questions or comments?
Well, there's one that wants to give us SEO results, so you know how that always goes. But so Mark Shore, a regular listener, regular contributor, says this might become a Mike versus Matt question. What is better, a modern rarity or a medium rarity classic?
I would say a medium rarity classic because odds are they're not going to find a bunch more of those. When it comes to modern stuff, your odds of somebody turning up more of them are much greater. So that would be my opinion.
See, I have the same opinion for a different reason. I would say that the classic rarity is always better to go with because in the intervening time, it has remained classic. Whereas you don't know if people are going to continue to collect the modern stuff. And it does count on people still collecting it in order for it to retain any value or demand.
Barry on Facebook asked the approximate price on the bill. I'm assuming you're talking about my bill. Barry, I think we listed that note at $2,800. So,
Andy Miller commented on episode 162. Mike was hard to hear.
Well, I think we're gonna get some more emails about 163 for some strange reason. Your audio's a little crunchy tonight. I don't know why.
Again?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll have a post-show meeting.
Better about it then. I'll do better mic technique. Mike with his mic technique. So one last question. This is from Isaiah Hageman, also another regular.
Yep.
So I've been asking for people what mindless games have you been playing during the pandemic. He says, Mike, Matt, my mindless game for the pandemic is Pokemon Go. Just want to put that out there. Go's a little tough to play during the pandemic, though, because you have to go out.
Yeah, you have to go out. Looks like I've got one on Facebook here.
Change the rules and stuff. So, also question: do you guys know much about sample slabs? And if so, what are some you've seen come through your shops? Yes, we know a bit about them. We have talked about them. We did a segment on them, like double-digit episodes.
Yeah.
And there's a book about them.
I think there's a website too.
Yeah, there's a website, and that guy wrote a book, and they're really cool. It's not something that that everybody thinks about collecting. I think there are certain ones that are going to be way more valuable than others, but they are collectible and they're fairly sought after.
Yeah.
So, do you got one?
Yeah, it looks like there's one here. I might have a couple here. Looks like Michael Claude asked, any thoughts on when copper will completely disappear from circulation? Yes, as soon as they allow you to melt it.
Yes.
As soon as it becomes legal to melt overnight, they will all disappear from circulation.
And not until.
Not until. Got one more here. Carrie John Patrick Collin asks, this is my first time watching your show, and I'm finding it quite fascinating. Well, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Do you cover Canadian coins at all? We do occasionally. We talk about the new issues that come out from the Royal Canadian Mint on the news segment sometimes. We might not always like them. We might not always be very nice about them, but we do definitely cover them. We don't cover a lot of classic stuff just because it's not my cup of tea, but...
Well, we cover Canadian coinage. We probably cover it more than any other foreign coinage that we do cover.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we affectionately refer to Canada as America's hat.
America's hat. That's right.
Right. So
from like episode 7.
We're all about you, eh?
All right, buddy. Well, I don't have any more. You got any more?
No. Well, I do have one more thing for you.
Uh-oh. I hate it when you do this.
I don't know. No. See,
I don't trust you. I do not trust you.
You've become conditioned now to where I'll just have to do it. That's all.
I don't trust you.
I will have to do things now, so whatever.
Have to? You have for years. I don't know where you're coming from.
That was it.
What was it? I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything?
Not a thing, buddy.
One more time.
Turn it up.
Couldn't hear that?
I heard something. Sounded.
Never mind.
All right. Well, I keep hearing something, but I don't know. We'll work on it. We're gonna have ourselves a production meeting after this show. I can tell you that right now. So
somebody's going to the woodshed.
That's right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. And
yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can catch our show on. Besides the live stream, it now will also be posted to YouTube. It'll be on Facebook on a couple of different groups that we do. It will be posted on Spreaker.com, on Apple Podcasts. It'll be on iHeartRadio podcasts. So any place that you get your podcast, you can find the Coin Show Radio. And, thank you for listening. Please, join us on patreon.com. The people there have been doing a lot of stuff for us and have been helping us make a lot of improvements to the show. And we appreciate them. We love them for it.
Mike's audio not being one of them.
Wow.
Post-production meeting.
That too, Brute. Okay. So thank you to Ernesto.
Yep.
Thank you to Ernesto for all the work that he does on Facebook. Thank you to Justin for all the work that he does. Those two guys really work hard behind the scenes, and they really don't get anywhere near enough credit.
Yes, thank you, guys.
So, yeah, I really want to say thank you to them. You're still not getting a Christmas bonus, though. So thank you to all those who worked and inspired us, but thank you most of all to you who listened. Without you, this entire endeavor would be completely pointless. So
for the Coin Show.
Next week we do the Not the Coin Show podcast, so you can join us there on Patreon. So for the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll talk to you next time on the Coin Show.
You've been listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.